Hi there, Shannon West here. Thanks for watching today. I am really excited to share these cards with you, graffiti cards. The first time I saw the Amazing Thanks dies, I thought of graffiti. I went to Los Angeles a couple months ago and there were just these beautiful wall murals and art. And so that is the type of graffiti that I'm thinking of that I wanted to express in some cards. So let's check it out. All three of these cards are similar in that I started with a white card and then embossed with the brick and mortar embossing folder and then embellished, added words and embellished. Now this one is not the Amazing Thanks die. Obviously I started getting a little creative after I used all of the dies that were in the Amazing Thanks. So let's start with this one right here. So for this background, I did use the shimmery white cardstock. And for the spritzing, I've got one of these amazing tools, some alcohol, and I didn't have the magenta ink refill, so I put, let's see, so let's start first with the alcohol. There's a little bit left from before, but not enough to do another card. So I'll mix, I'm going to fill up about to the bottom of the logo. Hopefully I can do this without spilling too much. There we go. Not too bad. And then with that amount of alcohol, I'll add about 5 drops of Melon Mambo. And I can't remember if I did. Let's see. We'll do just 1 drop of Gorgeous Grape to get it with a little bit of purple to it. Now, it's always a good idea to test your color to make sure, because from here it's really easy. Before you spritz a card, it's really easy to say, oh, I want to add more water so that the color is a little bit lighter, or you know, you have a lot of options. So I'll just take a scratch piece of paper and do that really quick. We'll see, the first sprays are going to be my old color. Okay, still looks pretty good though, so I'm happy with it. Actually, I think I'll add 1 more drop of Gorgeous Grape to give it a little more purple. This is the really artistic, creative part of these projects. So just relax and enjoy the mixing with the different colors. Okay, let's see if it looks different. Well, it'll take a minute to see if we can see that purple coming through it all. Yeah, I can see it a little bit. Okay, that's good. We'll call it good. So now, oh, I broke one of my own rules, which was put paper all around and protect your area. We've already got some splatter right there, which is okay because that's the color we're using, but beware of that. I've got an extra piece of grid paper here that you can't see. Well, there you can see it a little bit to protect my work surface so I don't get too much overspray. So the point of this is we want it to have this really drippy look right here. I'll show you the finished card again. See how it's like dripping down as if I were spraying on the wall with spray paint and then it just dripped right down the wall. So that's what we want to do. So you'll need to do 5 or 6 sprays at least to get it kind of to pool right there and drip down. Let's see. I did a lot more than 5 or 6. There we go. Because I started to get distracted that my color looked a little more bubblegum pink than I was planning, which is interesting. I don't know. I think we needed probably to add more purple, but like I said, everyone is a little bit different. It's a really fun experiment, and I think it's going to look great as is. So let's go ahead to the next step, which is you need to dry it or to give it time to dry before we start sticking stuff on it. So I'm going to use the heat tool for just a minute to get it a little dry. All dry now, and so we can see how this is going to look. I love the way it's splattered up there, and like in the shadow of the brick is left some of the white, and then it covers really well here and kind of dripping off. This is cool too, an extra little bonus on the back. You wouldn't expect that when you're first looking at the card, but when you're done reading the card and you go, oh wow, cool. So that's cool. My thumbprint is right there, so that's something to watch. Need to be a little careful of that, and just, it's probably best just to place your card down on the table when you're spritzing it, or to hold it like so. So we'll try that again with the next cards. Okay, let's do some embellishing. So for these awesome dies, you have Amazing in 2 different sizes. So the detailed size and then the background size. So I've already cut them out. I've cut out Amazing in Bermuda Bay with the shadow, I suppose it's a shadow, and then the detailed in Whisper White, basic white. So, and all of the dies in this set have the double dies there, so you can put, so see when you layer them on top of each other, it looks so cool, which is probably the main reason I thought of the graffiti or the art murals, is with the different colors around each other, really making those letters stand out. For these, I'm going to do a little Stampin' blends, starting off with Light Pool Party. So these need a couple layers with the Light Pool Party, and lots of blending is going to happen to these letters. So you can just kind of throw the color on there a little bit rough. It doesn't need to be perfect. These are pretty delicate, so you have to be careful not to yank them apart when you're coloring. So after I do a couple layers of Pool Party, then I've got Bermuda Bay Light and Dark that I'll add to the top to give it a little more dimension. Now for the blending, we want to go back over with our lighter color and blend that together. Since we put down the lighter color in the first place, it will naturally blend, but this helps it a little bit to get those colors to merge together. So then after this, we'll just add a little bit more dark to the top, and it'll be good to go. Okay, now it's a little bit difficult to see with this pink splatter, so I'll move them over to the white areas of the grid paper so you can kind of see how those colors are looking right there. It looks really cool how it's just kind of dark and then goes a little bit lighter. And, you know, then it's up to you to go back and keep blending those a little bit to merge those colors together. When I've used Stampin' blends, it pretty much always looks good. It's fun to experiment and see how they look. So I love being open to what is going to be created. Okay, looking amazing, just like the words say. Now they're ready to be attached to the shadow. So I'll add a little bit of glue. Just need a tiny bit here because these are so delicate. And then stick them down to the shadow. And that's what really makes the words stand out, really looks special. And there's so many different color possibilities and with these, with designer series paper and different colors. It's exciting to think about. All right, let's embellish on our card. We've got You Are Amazing. All of these can be added to our card with some mini Stampin' dimensionals. And I'm going to arrange them in a way where they, well, I can show you the finished one that I already showed you, where they're not straight. They look more, you know, random on the wall, on the brick wall. So let's put one more right here. There we go. Now, finally, for some embellishments. I've got a piece of pumpkin pie. I'm just going to cut out a little heart to tuck up under amazing. Let's see if that fits. That's a little big still, so let's cut it down a bit. Okay, there we go, perfect. So let's put that up in there, and then the last thing will be a couple of sequins. The sequins that I am going to be using are from the Artistry Bloom sequins. There's two different colors that would work. These are both quite orangey. So let's see, I'll use these. Oops, there we go. And all finished. Woo, so cute. Let's move on to our next card. The love card is next, and this is a basic white card. This time I just went full on stays on with alcohol. So I think it was like alcohol filled up to the logo with 10 drops of stays on. And then the bonus tip that I have is then I got my Wink of Stella and I just opened it up and pushed where it says to push and just dripped 4 or 5 drops into the barrel. And so that is what's in this spritzer right here, ready to be sprayed on our brick wall. Are you ready to see what that looks like? Let me get my area ready for this black spritz so it doesn't get on anything else. Let's see if I can kind of angle it like this so it still drips down the wall. Perfect, and you can still see it. Okay, perfect. It's dripping right down the wall. I try to keep it from pooling at the bottom, but it kind of happens. It catches on the bottom of the card there, so that's okay. This is actually even, you could do more drops of stays on if you wanted, because it's not, it's kind of a little bit transparent. But I love the way the color catches around the brick. So I think stays on, it has like, I think it's partly because it stays on, but it catches all around there. And because it has like this really intense color. Okay, let's dry it. You can do all of this spritzing with water if you want to. It doesn't have to be with alcohol. Alcohol just dries a little bit faster. But I got about the same. I tried it with water too because I wondered if the dripping would be different. I got about the same result with the water. So it's really sixes. And can you see the beautiful shimmer that is there thanks to our Wink of Stella? Oh, incredible. I would use shimmer on, I pretty much do use shimmer on every single card. Okay, now what are we going to do to this card? I've got these letters already cut out, and these are part of the Playful Alphabet dies. So I've got love in light blue, and then I've also got love in white. So these will merge together at some point, I'm sure you are realizing. Just lay them out here for a minute, and then we'll do, again, a little bit of stamping blend. So I've got Calypso Coral, I've got some, let's see, what colors do I have? Light Cherry Cobbler, Dark Cherry Cobbler, both Calypso Corals, and then some Poppy Parade. So my goal is to get like a nice rainbow from kind of peach orange down to really deep red. So let's see how that goes. I'll keep them in order. There we go. Ta-da! Our card is finished with that gorgeous shimmery black background and then our beautiful message that we are putting on the walls for everyone to see. Love. That's the exact type of thing you would see on the art murals, the art walls in Los Angeles. Saw lots of love, lots of inspirational messages. This one is also going to have a white background, and our spritzing is going to be Pacific Point. So I've got this ready to color spritzer ready to go. And so let's get our area ready here and ready to spritz. Okay, you can always reevaluate and add a little more later. So you can see how that is just dripping down the wall. And it always gets a little lighter when it dries also. So keep that in mind when you're testing. So it can, so you can make it dark enough. Now, as I'm drying this one, I thought of something I want to mention, which is the brick wall, when you spritz, sometimes the embossing can disappear a little bit or you lose some of that. So it's perfectly fine to emboss after you do spritzing. That's probably what I would recommend, but for the video I wanted to emboss first so that you didn't have to wait for me to emboss each time. But this one looks really cool, again, with the shadows of the brick. They're really keeping that texture there once it's dry. So you can still see that it's a brick wall even though all that color is on there. It looks really cool. Okay, let's do the letters on this one. We're going to do thanks. And I've cut out several of the little backgrounds because I want to show you how these words look with different backgrounds. So for this one, we are going to try a different color scheme. We'll start with Mango Melody on the top. And then I'll add a little bit of, let's see, Real Red and Flirty Flamingo. As you can see, when I'm doing the Stampin' blends, I like to do all of the colors, sometimes overlapping, like when it was pink and red, they're similar enough that I would cover the whole thing with Flirty Flamingo before Real Red. But then I always go back over and put extra lines, extra ink back over where the colors merge to help them blend. That's the whole point, Stampin' blends. So it really helps do that and looks amazing, doesn't it? Now look how cool. Now, black was my first thought, doing a black background with this card. So we'll try that out. And depending on how light or dark the blue is, that can really help it to stand out. But this lighter blue here also looks really cool. I love the way it looks there, but then when you layer it on the blue card, it doesn't stand out quite as much. So look how it looks with white. I think this is the one that I will choose. So there you can see with that, since we made that dark blue so nice and the color is so vibrant, that really helps it to stand out. But the one that I showed you when I first started the video, it actually had two. It had the black and then the blue over the top, so kind of a double shadow there. So that's an option too. These dies are great. You have lots of different ways to do it. So this one is just a different look, and I think this looks really nice with the particular color background that we've got there. And just adding a few rhinestones from the Holiday Rhinestone Basics, just to give it a little bit of bling. if I had my choice, I would just continue to add more and more rhinestones until it was completely covered. So that's it. I'll give you one last look of the finished cards that we created. You can see how they look all together. Let's see if I can fit them all on the screen. There we go. So there's my effort at creating some graffiti cards and showing a way to use these words to express a different look and feel in a card. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.